Do you have an attitude of gratitude? Do you know how to say thank you? Did you know that the word Eucharist means thanksgiving? This week in the Gospel, Jesus is traveling towards Jerusalem, and he's between the area of Galilee and Samaria. And 10 lepers approach him from probably 50 yards, because that was the legal distance you should stay away from a person if you have leprosy. And they shout out to him, "Master, have pity on us, have mercy on us." And Jesus says to them, which is the law, Mosaic law, which said, "Go show yourselves to the priest." Now, that's about a 50-mile journey down to Jerusalem from where they were. And that was the law, you know? And so they turn and they start going towards Jerusalem. And on the way, that's all we're told, on the way, they are healed. Well, at least one of them recognizes that he's been healed and turns around and goes back to where Jesus is and falls at his feet and says, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," and worships him. And Jesus is surprised and says, "Wait a minute, weren't 10 of you healed? Well, only one of you comes back to say thank you, and you're a Samaritan." Samaritans are foreign, so Samaritans say, "Well, go on your way, your faith has healed you." So only 10% of the group says thank you. Now, isn't that really our experience in life? Is there anything worse than experiencing ungrateful people? No, I don't think there's anything worse than that. You know, if you let somebody into your lane, you drive, and someone's coming in your lane, and they come in, they don't say thank you. You let them come out of a street ahead of you. You let them cut in your line, and they don't say thank you. You open the door for someone at a Wawa, and they don't say thank you. Don't you just want to lose your cool because of the ingratitude? But, you know, we're all capable of that. We are all capable of taking good people, good institutions, a good God for granted. And so that's really the message of this week's gospel. Do we know how to be grateful for the good things that happen to us in our life? When we recognize the goodness that people give to us, show to us, do we know how to say thank you or show gratitude? Whether it's to someone like our parents. Did you realize that there was a time in our lives where a week's worth of neglect, 1 week's worth of neglect, would have killed us? Many of our years have been spent totally dependent upon our parents, 1 or 2 or whatever, of taking care of us, providing shelter, providing food, clothing, education. There are so many things above and beyond that our parents have done for us. And yet, in my experience, I have seen children drop off their parents at a nursing home and never come see them again. You know, there's an old saying, you know, one parent can take care of 5 children, 5 children can't take care of 1 parent. It's really amazing the lack of gratitude that I have seen that children can express towards their parents. They take them for granted. And I've been a part of that myself, and I've had to rectify that and try to show gratitude towards my parents who are now deceased, but recognizing how much was done for me and how can I pay back, whether that meant going to doctor's appointments, driving here, there, everywhere, because that's what was done for me in my life. But not only our parents, but we can show gratitude to others, neighbors, brothers and sisters, friends, institutions, doctors, nurses. So many people in our lives have done so much for us, and do we say thank you? So often, you know, we have a problem, we have a crisis, and we go to someone for help, they help us out, and we intend to say thank you, we intend to do something to repay the kindness they showed to us, but it doesn't always happen. And life goes on, and the opportunity to say thank you passes. You know, in this parish, we have this wonderful program called the Elder Care Program, in which we help parishioners who are above a certain age, who may and are living in squalor. I've learned through this program how many parishioners in my parish live in squalor. They live in poverty. It gives you the chills. And so this one person needed all new furniture. They had hardly anything. And so we got them a bedroom set, beautiful oak bedroom set. And it was one woman living by herself, and she didn't like the bed. So she said she didn't want the bed. Now we had paid for movers. There were funds that were used by the archdiocese for the movers and to get the bed and the mattress. And she said, I don't want the bed. Can we get rid of the bed? And it was kind of mind blowing. Like, wow, like after all we just did for you, you're going to thumb your nose at the bed. But that's what happens, and that's what I've experienced a lot. And it comes with the territory, because there are just people that are ungrateful. And we can be so ungrateful towards God. We take for granted the air in our lungs. We take for granted all the beauty that surrounds us and all that God has done for us in our lives. Maybe we recognized it at one point in our life, and then we quickly forgot about it. We say to God basically, hey, it's okay. I got this. Because we don't think we need God. And then something happens. We get sick. We become weak. We have a real crisis in our lives. And now we need God. Please God. We call those foxhole prayers. Oh, please God, get me out of this. And I'll do X, Y, and Z. And so often we never do X, Y, and Z. But we want God to take care of us so many times in our lives. And are we grateful? How many people, pray to God, or they're Catholics and they say that they're Catholics, and they come to Mass maybe Christmas and Easter, But the word Eucharist, which is provided every week, comes from the word Thanksgiving in Greek, and all that is asked of us is that we come once a week for 1 hour, if that, and say thank you to God for the blessings which we've had bestowed upon us for the week. 45 minutes is all God is asking of us, and how many people can't even do that? I know of a parishioner that got so sick and nearly died. And I thought, wow, they never went to church, and they nearly died. I thought, this event will cause them to turn back to God. And it never happened. And my mind was blown. Like, wow. I would have thought, for sure you'd recognize your mortality, and then, you come back and thank God for giving me back my life. But so often it doesn't happen. So we really need to take stock of our lives and ask ourselves, how have we been ungrateful towards our parents, towards others, neighbors, institutions, friends, family members, the church? How have we been ungrateful to God? How have we not thanked God for the blessings which have been bestowed on us in our lives? Because we don't want to be one of the 90%. We want to be one of the 10% that came back to Jesus and said, thank you, Lord, for what you have done for me. Have a great week.